Yo, what to do, everybody? It's your boy Titus coming to you again with some more Pick3 lottery tips. All right, guys. So today I wanted to come up here real quick and just remind you that I'm still looking for the 2 states that I'm gonna do on the new board starting in July. So remember, in the new daily board starting in July, I'm gonna have a column for 2 additional states, and I'm gonna label the states. But you can also the numbers are still good for all across the country. All right. Remember, the hot numbers still gonna be the hot numbers. All right. So that being said, I asked y'all in my last video. So if you didn't watch the last video, make sure you go back, watch the last 2 videos. One was on Arkansas, one was on Tennessee. Cause I'm coming through this little phase where I always get questions about how you build these numbers. Like, how do you coming up with these numbers? Right? How you work doing these workouts. And once you do the workout, what comes next? All right. So I wanted to start doing more videos where I go before the numbers even play, do the video based off the numbers that I will use to play either that day or in future lotteries. All right. So for those of you that are from Arkansas or are from Tennessee, I did the numbers last week based on an evening number for Tennessee. That was 595. And to be honest with you, it took a few days to get a hit, but a straight hit dropped on 625. I did the numbers, I think, from the 21st, and a straight hit of 395 dropped on the midday from 625. All right. So you go back, look at that video, you will be able to see where I was like, yo, I wrote down numbers, and one of my numbers was 395. 395 hit straight. All right. Down for Arkansas, did the same thing. Put down 10 numbers that I thought might hit either that day or for a later date. And later on in that week, I came up with numbers like 572, 077, 207, and lo and behold, 207 hit box. I think it fell. I think it came down as 072, and I had 207, right? And it hit on the 26th, all right, in Arkansas. I think that also hit on a midday. So, man, just showing you guys how you can build these numbers, and they might not hit the next day or the next draw, but it might hit several draws later. But you can build numbers and they hit. So I wanted to take the time today to do the same thing. And as you can see behind me, yo, we're going to do Maryland. All right, we're going to do 2 hits from yesterday in Maryland. They had a midday hit of 930, and they had an evening hit of 786. All right, and let me show you guys how you build your Pick3 lottery numbers using the 1, 2, 3 workout. Now, I'm going to tell you the thing about it. Even if I did a 3, 6, 9 up here, it's pretty much going to be somewhat similar numbers, kind of in the reverse order. All right, so you can use the same concepts and use 3, 6, 9 as well. I use both. I always tell you guys I use both because depending on the month, depending on the time, you're going to hit with both. All right, so I just wanted to take a few minutes come up here, remind you guys, I'm still looking for the 2 states that I haven't chosen yet because I'm still waiting on interactions. I'm still having some interaction with some people, but it's a couple states that's in the lead already. All right. So, hey, if you out there, if you're from another state, you're from California, you're from Texas or Tennessee or wherever, hey, you still got time to put your state in so that I can give you those numbers. I'm going to give you those numbers tomorrow afternoon for the month of those states, right? I'm going to have 3 separate states. Months. I'm gonna have a number. I'm gonna have numbers for the month, and then every day on my pick board, I'm gonna label those states, and we're gonna see how many numbers we can get right for the month of July. All right, yo, but like always, man. Remember, like I always tell you guys, I always like to start my videos by telling you, remember, playing the lottery just for fun. Sometimes you're gonna win, sometimes you're gonna lose. All right, but it's just for fun. All right, we're going to have fun doing it. Because, hey, at the Pick3 Lottery Guy channel, we're all about getting some money. So, hey, if you're about getting some money, you're not a member of Pick3 Lottery Guy channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can become a member, all right? All right. So, let's jump into it, all right? So, yesterday, the hit was 930, right? And we're going to drop that into our 1, 2, 3 workout, right? Now, I went ahead and did the first column, right? You say 1 plus 9 is 10. But remember, we only keep the right-hand side. So that's a 0. And then anything plus, 1, you're going to keep going all the way down, right? So you can go ahead and just fill that whole column in. I said, if you're brand new, call that column A. Then you got column B, you got column C, right? So we say A, B, and C. And you pretty much do the same thing. Remember, if you get a double-digit number, you only keep the right side digit. All right? So you say 5, 3, 7, 6, 9, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 7, 1, 9, 4, 1, 7, 3, 0. All right. And as you can see, these two numbers end up repeating top and the bottom. All right. Now, what I always teach you guys, something I always do, right? You don't have to do exactly what I do, but you can formulate your own process, right? It's no perfect process. Everybody who does this do it different, all right? So when you're doing it, then you have to think about what you like to look at. Me personally, I like to locate what they call key boxes, right? I like to locate my key boxes first, right? And that's where mirror numbers, 0 and 5 are mirror numbers, and double numbers, which are 3 and 3, 2 double numbers, that's where those numbers interact, right? And then the box will mirror itself at the bottom. Now the mirrors, right, become the doubles become the mirrors, all right? And then I look for repeat numbers, all right? I look for doubles and I look for repeats. And as you can see, 176 and 671 is pretty much the same number, just in reverse. So that's pretty much a repeat number. And I start, and then I always remind you guys, right? I always remind you guys that the numbers in between these two numbers become your base. I can't even spell this morning. Your base set of numbers, right? That becomes your base set of numbers. So, right? So there go your base set of numbers. Now you start building your numbers from your base set of numbers. Now, I always look at the date, right? Because at the end right here, you got an 8. If you add these two together, you get a 10, which is a 0, right? But if you add this to the 8, right, you get a 14, which is a 4, all right? So that tells me the types of numbers that I might need to look for. Now, Maryland, you might need to be looking back a couple days to see what was hitting. Either the day itself was hitting, which would be 28, which would be an 8. The day sum, which is the 2 and the 8 together, which would be a 10, which would be a 0. Or the date sum, if you add the 6 and the 8 together, you get a 14, which is a 4, or that's hitting. That's how I start figuring out what's hitting. Now, remember, let me put this out here as well. Just because you pay more money, don't mean you're going to hit more. So, hey, come up with a good strategy and stick to it. Remember, have a plan, execute your plan. You might not hit that first draw, but you might hit 2 or 3 draws later just by executing your plan, all right? So, you come in, you get your numbers, and then I might be just looking at the numbers because it might just be that the key boxes are hitting, right? So if you're looking at the key boxes, right, you can flip or mirror the numbers in the key boxes. So you look up here, right, and you got an 8, a 0, you got a 3 and a 0. So you might say 3, 0, and then you might say 5, 3, 0, 3. That might become 2 of your numbers, all right? Now, what I like to do a lot of times too is take one of the doubles and mirror it. So you might say 8, 0, 5, right? So you might take that, right? So you go to 8, 0, and the 5. Or you might say 8, 3, 5. So that might become one of your numbers, all right? Just like down here, you see the 8, the 3, and the 5, right? That might become one of your numbers, Now, also remember, if you got doubles numbers, then you're going to have other numbers that repeat. Like right here, right? You got 419, right? And then 914, pretty much the same number. Now coming through your key box is 338. All right? So think about that. You can use those numbers as well, right? You might want to say 419, 338. Or you might want to just, like I do a lot of times too, I might take these two numbers, right? And then I might add another number to it because, hey, these two numbers, right? I might say 3, 8, and then add one of these numbers as well, right? Then that would become the 4, right? And you say 3 and the 8, that's 11, right? Plus the 4 be 15, that's the mirror of the 10, right? Or you might say 3, 8, 9. All right, so there's different ways to come up with combinations of numbers based off of what is there. All right, and I have also even done things where I take these numbers and I say 3 and the 4 because they're right there close together. 3, 4, and then off to the side you got a 1 because you got the ones for your doubles, right? And that's how we just building numbers. Right now we just building numbers, guys. We just building numbers, right? So we got what we got. A 9 number, we get one more number. No, one more number. Let me see. One more number. What's another number I like? Another number I like. I like the 794. So I dropped that 794 right there. And that might be 10 numbers for Maryland midday. All right. Let me finish the other side kind of quick. Right. So you can have some afternoon numbers as well. This one might be for your afternoon. And we'll go in, right? And we'll start looking for numbers, looking for layouts and numbers, right? That right here, right? You got the 540, 540. That's going to repeat itself. And then that's going to tell us that we got 2 additional repeating numbers, right? Which is right here, the 702, 702, all right? And you go right through here, look at it again, right? So in Maryland, let me be honest with you, I see these numbers repeating again. I'm like, oh my goodness, pretty much a very similar thing. You got 388 over here, 338 over here. So man, I might pay attention to just those 2 digits today in Maryland, right? Because you got them repeating in both workouts. So pay attention to your 3s and your 8s in Maryland, all right? We're going to see how it happens, right? We're going to see what happens by the end of the day. We're going to watch that. We're going to keep an eye on that, all right? Maryland, we keep an eye on that today, all right? And remember, so we coming up in here, we got a 681. All right, you got a 681. All right. And that'll give you a 5. All right. So now we just looking at numbers. Remember, we're looking at key boxes, get our key boxes all lined up and everything. And we're looking at numbers, guys. And we building our workout numbers. And we building our numbers off of what we see. All right. We're building our numbers off of what we see. We build them off of what we see, right? 631 right there. We're looking at the numbers. We're just trying to build the numbers off of what we see to come up with a good combination of numbers that we think got a chance of hitting today. 427 right here, right? Get that 427. I like to use the opposite of the one with the double when I do these, right? So you had 922. Down here you got 427. I love to use the opposite one of the double. A lot of times you'll end up seeing it. Sometimes that's the one that'll end up hitting straight out of the workout, all right? So I really like to do that, all right? So we sitting here, we just building numbers. Now remember also your base number. Those come out of your base, right? Those your base numbers, all right? So now see how this number's attaching the original number or going through the original number. So I might take 2 of those original numbers, which is 7, 8, all right? And then I might take 2 of those original numbers and then plug in another number, right? So I might plug in 0, 7, 8, plug in the 0 from that. Or I might say 7, 8, and plug in the 5, all right? And you just building numbers. That's all we're doing, is building numbers. We try to give ourselves the best combinations of numbers that give us the best opportunity to hit in the Pick3 lottery today, all right? And so we're coming up with different scenarios and numbers, right? And that's just how it works. Well, I'm gonna do 5 for the afternoon, all right? So, Maryland, it's your boy Titus, Pick3 lottery guy. Now I'm gonna step to the side, so if you're from Maryland, you can sit here and you can zoom in on these numbers. Let me get you a little closer, right? So you can zoom in on these numbers, all right? So I came up with 308 over here, 419, 303, 338, 805, 384, 835, 389, 341, 794. On this side for the midday for Maryland, then I additionally add 681, 780, 785, 631, 427. All right. Oh, and I forgot to do 651. I like that too. I like that 651. I like that 651 as well. All right. So 651 as well. All right. So I came up with these numbers. Let's keep a look at these numbers for a couple of days in Maryland. See if we have some numbers that drop. And see if we can get some hits. All right. Hey, again, guys, it's your boy Titus, Pick3 lottery guy. I just want to come on here this morning, do a state before it even play. I got the date up here, right? 6/28, so you know what day it is. All right. Now, if you want me to do your state, go in the comments and say, hey, show me how I need to do my numbers in my state. I'm going to do this periodically. But remember, starting on the 1st, on the daily numbers, I'm going to have stakes up there. And you can still use the hot numbers and the other numbers to help predict all other stakes. All right, this is your boy Tice, Pick3 lottery guy. And remember, if you use these numbers, remember you're using these numbers at your own risk. All right? What I would love for you guys to do is to learn how to do your own workout so you can get your own sets of numbers. And then you can compare them to other people's numbers and figure out if those numbers going to help you get some money or not. All right? Like always, baby. But if you get some hits, yo, let me know. Let me know. Jump in the comments and tell me if you get close. Close on working horseshoes. But hey, if you get the number and you got a hot number as well, let me know. Again, this your boy Tice, Pick3 lottery guy. And like always, man, let's get some money.